You've been a steadfast supporter of President Trump for years now, and yet he hasn't given you an exclusive endorsement. Is this going to be an issue going into the primaries?
You know, I don't think so. I'm glad that the president likes all three of the nominees. I think he knows that there is one proven conservative champion, one thought leader, one person who has a record of getting results at the legislative level, and that's me. And I look forward to having his support before or after the primary as we go very strong into November to keep this state red so that we can continue to grow our economy, we can make sure our border is secure, we can have health care that is cost-effective and accessible to everyone via the free market. We can make sure our military is strong so that we can have peace through strength, and we can take care of our veterans.
Do you believe that the president's support will still help you in November, even when 1/3 of Arizona voters don't identify with either party?
I certainly do, because many of the independents that are in Arizona are disgruntled Republicans who are fed up with the Republican Party and their establishment ways. Their persistence in wanting to buy Senate seats rather than allowing people to earn those seats, refusing to hold debates for an open Senate seat, for goodness sake, where the Republican electorate hasn't been able to see the three candidates side by side talking about the issues, talking about policy, talking about our own records, and sharing our vision for Arizona and for the country and for the world, really. It's really disappointing because of all of the Republican primaries that are going on in Arizona, there have only been 3 that didn't have a debate. And one was the governor's race, one was this open Senate seat that Martha McSally refused to debate, and one is CD2, the seat that Martha is abandoning down in the southern part of the state.
So, Ms. Ward, what you just described, it sounds like it might frustrate Republican voters in the state. Is there a danger here that the three of you essentially would tear one another down? So whoever comes out of this will be weakened, because in the meantime, the prospective Democratic opponent is out there spending a fair amount of money from a PAC with a really positive message.
She is. I mean, my Democrat opponent has been basically unchallenged by the party or by anyone for several months. So it's going to be a lot of work come August 29th to take her down. And I'm the only one that's prepared to do it. The only one that's prepared to get out there and debate with her and also show the people of Arizona the path to true prosperity. And that's through the free market and through really Republican principles. It's unfortunate that my opponent has chosen to be so negative, and that people that are in the Never Trump movement have backed her because they really want to maintain the status quo. They want Jeff Flake 2.0 or John McCain 2.0, even worse. And the people of Arizona have really smartened up, and they are seeing those negative ads full of lies, dispelled across the board by liberal outlets and conservative. And those are coming back to haunt them because they're tired of that liberal playbook of campaigning as a conservative and then going to Washington and legislating liberally. They want somebody that they can depend on, and they know it's not Martha McSally. They know that if there's anything you can count on from Martha, whether you are in the middle, whether you're on the right, or whether you're on the left, it's that you can't count on her.
So, Ms. Ward, as I listen to you, I wonder whether your campaign over there might not be a microcosm for the entire nation. One would have thought that in this midterm election, tax cuts and deregulation would be a major positive statement, and yet we have so many distractions, including and starting with the President of the United States going off on every frolic and detour. Are you going to distract the voters from your core message, given all this other stuff?
Oh, no. My opponent's trying to distract from the message. And, you know, my message has been strong and clear from the very beginning that we have to build the wall, we have to repeal Obamacare, we have to grow the economy, but we also have to cut spending, and we have to make sure our military is strong so that we can have peace through strength, and we have to take care of our veterans. On the spending front, I mean, that's one of the biggest issues because the economic impact of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has been huge. It's a great first step. Unfortunately, my opponent is the only Republican in Arizona that voted for the massive $1.3 trillion spending bill that included $500 million for Planned Parenthood. People know we have to send a fiscal conservative to Washington. And I think that because I'm the only mom in the race, I understand what's happening in Washington. Really, it's generational theft. And I don't just see the next election. I see the next generation every day at my kitchen table when I see my kids' faces, and I know that we've got to stop the spending addiction in Washington, D.C. so we can continue to prosper across the board.